Why is the face of BTS' eldest member nearly invisible at the very building that launched him to global stardom? That's the burning question armies are demanding answers to in a wave of growing discontent. Fans of Jin, member of the global K-pop sensation BTS, have taken to social media with increasing frustration, calling out HYBE labels for what they describe as an alarming lack of promotional presence for Jin's solo works The Astronaut and Echo. The controversy erupted after several fans visited the HYBE Insight building in Seoul, only to discover that displays, banners, and tributes to Jin's music were either absent or disproportionately underrepresented compared to other BTS members' solo projects. Where is Jin's face? One fan posted on X, formerly Twitter, sharing photos from the HYBE lobby. We saw Jungkook's and Jimin's displays everywhere during their album releases. But for Jin, there's almost nothing. Is HYBE ashamed of him? Others echoed the sentiment with hashtags such as #WhereIsJin, #RespectJin, and #HYBBeFair, which quickly trended worldwide. Fans began compiling side-by-side visual evidence comparing promotional treatment for other soloists under the HYBE umbrella versus Jin's recent comeback with Echo. The lack of promotional equity sparked conversations about favoritism, neglect, and a deeper systemic issue within the company. This isn't the first time HYBE has been under scrutiny for how it promotes BTS members individually. When Jin first released The Astronaut in collaboration with Coldplay in 2022, fans praised the music but noted the relatively quiet promotional strategy. This time, with Echo, a mini-album that gained massive traction due to its introspective lyricism and emotionally raw title track, Silent Waves, the expectations were higher. But once again, supporters say they were met with disappointment. Jin is not just another artist under HYBE. He's part of the foundation of BTS's global success, a Korean fan wrote in a community forum. Why does it feel like HYBE is deliberately minimizing his presence? Some fans speculate that the recent controversy surrounding Silent Waves, which includes lyrics interpreted as social commentary on South Korea's intense work culture, may have contributed to the company's cautious promotional stance. Critics argue that HYBE is trying to avoid further political entanglements, particularly after government officials reportedly expressed disapproval of the song's messaging, but fans aren't buying it. Jin's voice deserves to be heard. If HYBE is pulling back just because the lyrics challenge the system, then they're doing a disservice to his artistry. An international army stated in a viral TikTok video that garnered over 500,000 views in less than 24 hours, in response to the mounting backlash. BIGHIT Music, HYBE's subsidiary and BTS's primary label, released a short statement. We value each BTS member equally and strive to provide balanced support for all their individual activities. The display decisions are based on timing, logistics, and space availability at our headquarters. But the statement did little to calm fans. Many considered it a generic deflection and demanded more transparent answers. They always say, equal support, but the reality doesn't reflect that, said one longtime army. We need to see actions, not just words. In a surprising turn, some employees claiming to be insiders anonymously posted on fan forums, hinting that internal decisions about visual displays and campaign budgets are heavily influenced by corporate hierarchy and board-level decisions, not artist managers or individual departments. While these claims remain unverified, they've only fueled further speculation and fan mistrust toward the company. This latest backlash marks a deepening rift between the HYBE Corporation and one of its most loyal fandoms. Armies, known for their coordinated and passionate defense of BTS members, are now channeling their energy into online campaigns demanding better treatment and visibility for Jin. Petitions have begun circulating, asking HYBE to install permanent displays for The Astronaut and Echo at the company's headquarters and give equal promotional weight to future Jin projects. Some fans have even threatened to boycott upcoming HYBE merchandise drops until visible corrective action is taken. Ironically, the controversy may be boosting Jin's exposure in an unexpected way. Interest in Echo, and particularly its title track, Silent Waves, has soared internationally. Streaming numbers on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music have surged in recent days, with fans openly supporting Jin not just through protests, but also by amplifying his art. One army wrote, "Maybe HYBE won't promote him, but we will. We'll fill the gap they've left." This groundswell of fan mobilization raises pressing questions. Can a company survive long-term if it appears to overlook the emotional bond between an artist and their fans? And how long can HYBE maintain the narrative of equal support when the physical evidence tells a different story? As the situation evolves, one thing remains clear. Jin's music is speaking volumes, even if his agency chooses to stay silent. And fans? They're making sure no one forgets his name. In the days following the initial outcry, fans have escalated their efforts. Organized fan bases across several countries, ranging from South Korea to the United States, Indonesia, Brazil, and the Philippines, have launched online campaigns with the slogan, "Echo deserves to be heard." The phrase has now become a rallying cry for supporters who believe Jin's artistry is being systematically downplayed. These campaigns aren't limited to social media. They include billboard placements, donation drives, streaming marathons, and even email campaigns directed at HYBE's customer service and PR departments. Interestingly, several Korean media outlets have started covering the controversy, bringing it to a broader audience. Prominent cultural commentators are weighing in, some criticizing HYBE's PR missteps, while others caution against overinterpreting internal corporate decisions. Still, the narrative remains difficult to control as armies, empowered by their global unity and digital expertise, continue to push for answers. The irony is stark. Echo, an album with deeply personal messages about reflection, emotional fatigue, and the longing for sincerity, is now at the center of a storm that reflects many of its themes. The title track, Silent Waves, already under scrutiny for its critical lines about overwork and societal pressure, has taken on an even more poignant resonance. Fans argue that the lack of visible support from HYBE for Echo only strengthens the song's message about being unheard despite constantly pushing forward. In a powerful moment, a fan group in Seoul organized a silent flash mob outside the HYBE building, holding placards with lyrics from Silent Waves while playing the instrumental version of the song through wireless speakers. Video clips from the peaceful demonstration went viral, gaining attention from news media and even drawing supportive comments from cultural activists and music critics. This isn't just about an idol, one protester told Yonhap News. It's about an artist who spoke his truth and is now being treated like a marketing inconvenience. That's unacceptable. The pressure on HYBE is intensifying. Behind closed doors, sources suggest that internal meetings have been held to address the public relations crisis. There's speculation that the company may soon release an updated statement or even install a commemorative display to appease fans, though nothing has been confirmed. Meanwhile, Jin himself has remained silent, choosing not to directly comment on the matter. That silence has only added more emotional weight for fans, who interpret his absence as either a sign of quiet resilience or quiet frustration. Some speculate that Jin may be intentionally staying out of the public eye to allow his music to speak for itself. Others believe he is being advised by the company to avoid further inflaming the situation. This ongoing scenario is shedding new light on the complex dynamic between entertainment companies and the devoted fan bases that support their artists. In the age of social media, accountability doesn't just come from the press, it comes from the fans. And in this case, the fans are united, organized, and refusing to be ignored. The situation also calls into question HYBE's long-term strategy for solo projects. As more BTS members continue with their individual endeavors, some already released and others planned for post-military service, how will the company ensure fair treatment and equitable promotion? And how will this current backlash affect the trust Army has placed in the agency over the years? Marketing experts and cultural analysts have begun dissecting HYBE's approach to managing solo acts, pointing out the dangers of perceived favoritism. You cannot afford to alienate a portion of one of the most powerful fan bases in the world, said Dr. Choi Min-suk, a pop culture analyst at Ua Women's University. A misstep like this, even if unintentional, can result in lasting damage. Even major brands that have partnered with HYBE and BTS are reportedly monitoring the situation. It's unclear whether any sponsors or collaborators have reached out to the company regarding the controversy, but analysts agree that negative fan sentiment can impact brand equity.